Hello, friends and knife nerds. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Nimbus version 2, and it looks excellent. I love the micarta on this. This is some of the coolest looking micarta that I've really seen in a knife. I just dig the color, and that's what really made it stick out to me initially, and I know that Giant Mouse really does that with most of their models. They have this incredible micarta. So, this knife is really nice. It's very beautiful. I had this thing apart yesterday. Their liners are labeled L-Max. So, I am assuming that their liners are actually made of L-Max. I don't know why they would put L-Max on the liner if they're only using it in the blade. But I thought that was rather cool, and I could tell their own washers are used in this, which was, I hadn't seen that in many knives either. And there's a step on it so that it sits inside this pre-carved circle. It's not a through hole, but a circle inside the blade. So it sits in there and kind of rotates on that with some friction. Now, I think that's part of my problem with this knife, but first let me kind of go through just why otherwise this is just a beautiful knife. I mean, check that aesthetic out. It's just excellent. It looks nice, feels very good in hand. That is really very comfortable, and I mean, you can tell there's a lot of time taken. The fit and finish is beautiful. The milled out L-Max liner that we have here. Excellent micarta. Everything, there's really not a lot of moving parts. Even the barrels around these screws come off. So when you take out the screw, there's actually a just like a post that each screw goes into, and this rounded barrel actually comes off. And it's the same for both of these. And the aesthetic with the clip just looks perfect on this thing. The blade is really beautiful. I don't usually like an overmarked blade, but something, even with this, silly mouse face, this even looks nice. And it just, they're very good at making their knives. Now, I'll show you what my issue is with this thing. That's about where it starts to get too much friction for my liking. Kick is difficult. Now, you just need a little wrist flick, and it kicks out nicely. And you got to push hard back. Give it a good flick, it'll deploy. But now, let me just show you. That's kind of a tough, it's tough getting it back in. So that is, you need to keep pushing it all the way back, or really kind of remove and shove hard, which is fine. It's a nice knife, so it's worth it. But it's a little annoying. And I know that there is a version 3 of this. There's a version 1. This is a step up from version 1, the version 2. Now, the version 3, I'm hoping that they have removed that problem. I think, like I mentioned, that it's from their custom, obviously custom washers that they made that go right over the pivot. So let me make a few measurements, comparisons for those of you that are hopefully still interested. I think it's a really nice knife. I would suggest, if you're okay with this, and I'm okay with it. If you're okay with this problem, then the version 2 is great, and they're actually on sale. That's why I got this. This version 2 was $140, and now many of them are marked at $190, but there's plenty out there for $140 that you can get. Let's weigh her. 379. Okay, nice. That's a nice medium size, because this is 7 1/4 inches is what they claim. I have not measured it yet, but that is a good weight. 3.79 ounces. So let's do some measuring. All right. So there's our 7 1/4. Yeah, that's her. Stem to stern. That's 7 1/4. Yep. Blade just a hair over 3 inches. Let me just give you a quick comparison here. We got the Benchmade bug out and the Kershaw Bel Air. Let's put them all pivot to pivot so you can get a nice look here. So these are all very similar knives. And the Giant Mouse is a little bit thicker than those two. Those are just like, kind of like lightweight EDC knives. You can kind of see like on the Bel Air how thin it is comparatively. Now I would say that the liners are about the same. Actually, no, the liners are not the same. It is much thicker. But so this is a nice thick knife. I'll get this thing is well over 1/2 inch. Let's take a look. Actually, I don't have my caliper here, but it hits not well over 1/2 inch, probably just about a 1/16 or 2 over that. So those knives are clearly not 1/2 inch knives. But yeah, there's my issue. But I mean, I really want to love this knife. It's just that keeps me bringing back. I'm surprised they released it with this kind of detent problem. So it is a little frustrating because it's a beautiful knife. And this crown spine just looks excellent. The jimping is nice and sharp. So if you don't dwell on this thing that I'm clearly dwelling on, this is really a beautiful knife. And for $140, the quality you're getting here, if you can get this for $140, then I would run with it. But if you really don't like this issue, I hope it's solved on the version 3. I have to watch more information about the version 3 that's out right now. But it's a really nice knife with really a kind of annoyingly glaring issue. Friends, knife nerds, you guys take care.